Watson. Watson?
Oh, sorry, Stamford. Miles away.
Well, drag yourself back, old man. This is a party.
Sorry.
At least it's supposed to be. The ever-so-official St. Bartholomew's Teaching Hospital New Year celebratory dinner. How's your glass? Be midnight soon.
I'm all right.
Good stuff. Oh, by the way, I've got a favour to ask you.
I knew I'd been invited here for a reason. Go on.
I've been saddled with next year's Abernethy lecture.
You?
Oh, relax. I'm not giving it. I'm arranging it. So, what do you say?
Stamford, I haven't worked as a doctor for years.
Doesn't matter. I want to make the old Abernethy a bit different. Give it a bit more zing, romance, mystery.
Oh, yes.
You could read a few bits from your stories, chat for a while. You know the sort of thing.
That's a thought, I suppose.
I mean, you're always going on about how he's more popular than ever now.
It's true. I can't turn out the stories fast enough.
So, will you do it? It's not for months yet. You've got loads of time to put something together.
I'll think about it.
Good man. Here we go. Happy New Year, old man.
And to you.
Here's to 1914.
His Last Bow by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. Dramatized for radio by Bert Coules. With Clive Merrison as Sherlock Holmes and Michael Williams as Dr. John Watson. And featuring Norman Rodway as Stamford and Michael Cochrane as Captain Kell. His Last Bow.
Very impressive. That's what you're paying for. Come on. We got 3 minutes.
I'm not a shred of damage in here. You live up to your reputation, Mr. Altamont.
Keep your voice down.
Will you look at this? There must be a dozen boxes of them.
Put it back.
We could send these over. Every little helps.
Toys. Now, these are what we came for.
Thanks, old man.
My pleasure.
Well, no need to ask if you enjoyed that. Now, Dr. Watson has kindly agreed to answer any questions. Yes?
How is Mr. Holmes, Dr. Watson? Is he well?
The last time I saw him, he was very well. The country air agrees with him. Yes?
Why did Mr. Holmes retire so young?
That's a question you'd have to ask him.
How? No one knows where he's gone.
Then you can deduce that he values his privacy, can't you?
Does he really keep bees?
Yes, he does. He told me he's writing a book on the subject. He's probably finished it by now. Look out for it, if you're interested. Yes? At the side there.
Is it true that he'll never do any more detective work?
Never's a long time.
Will he be taking any active part in the war?
Are you so sure there's going to be a war?
Well, yes, of course.
How many of you think that war is inevitable? Put up your hands. And how many of you want a war? And how many of you know the least thing about what war is actually like? Yes, well, when you've got first-hand knowledge of the subject, then I'll discuss it with you, if you're still alive. Sorry, Stamford.
Not a bit of it. I said I wanted some zing, didn't I? Here.
Thanks. Good health.
Yes.
I shouldn't have got angry. And I worse than everybody else, after all.
War fever. It's understandable, I suppose. Nothing but bad news out of Europe day after day. People want to see the Kaiser put in his place.
Put in his place? You make it sound like some student prank. If we do go in, it'll be appalling.
You think so?
Good God, don't you?
Thanks again for doing this.
I enjoyed it.
So did they.
Strange to think that those lads weren't even born when you first introduced me to Holmes.
John, why don't you get back in touch with him again?
No, I can't do that.
Of course you can. Go and see him. He'd be delighted.
Stamford, when he retired, he asked me to respect his privacy. That's what I've done.
Well, I think you've carried it a bit far.
He asked me down once. He'll do it again.
He asked you down once.
Look, if you really want to know the truth, I'll tell you.
Go on.
This retirement, I don't think it'll last. You know what he's like. His work was his life. He can't just give it up. Not to study bees, for God's sake.
You think so?
Of course.
John, how long is it since you've seen him?
10 years. But I tell you, it's only a matter of time.
Wait. Mr. Altamont?
Don't use new nails. Reuse the old ones. Or you might as well paint smuggled rifles in secret compartment on the side of the crate. Use your brain, man.
He's only a lad.
He's fighting a war, O'Brien. That makes him a man.
There's someone downstairs asking for you.
Who?
Well, now, he didn't give his name, but if it were me he was wanting, I wouldn't keep him waiting.
Good evening, Doctor.
Ah, Stevens. Dr. Stamford in the club tonight?
Yes, sir.
Splendid.
Oh, thanks.
Stamford?
Watson!
Whiskey and soda, please, George.
You're in a sunny mood.
Look at that.
Ah, good stuff.
Meet me, Grand Hotel Harwich, lunchtime tomorrow. Bring with you one large suitcase. Also bring your new motor car.
Thank you.
Watson.
Holmes. It's good to see you.
How have the years used you?
I feel 20 years younger. You've hardly changed. How are you?
I believe I'm well.
You look it. Holmes, what's happening?
Did you bring the car?
How did you know about that?
I'll tell you later.
Tell you later. You know, I'd have put money on those words cropping up inside 5 minutes.
Still a betting man then, Doctor?
Only on certainties.
Very wise.
Holmes, tell me what's going on.
After lunch, a brandy, a cigar, and a good long talk. What do you say?
So, you are the celebrated Altamont.
And just who the hell are you?
That really doesn't matter.
I'm too busy for games.
Preparing to dispatch 4 crates of stolen rifles to your friends in Ireland. Yes, I know. Oh, put the gun away, sir. It really doesn't frighten me.
What do you want?
I want to do the job I came here to do, then get out of this rat hole of a town. Buffalo. I suppose they named it for the smell.
You want to go? Go. That ought to take care of the problem.
Your full name is Altamont B. Kelly, though you never use it. Your parents were forced out of Ireland when you were 2 years old, and you were brought up in Chicago. You have your mother's brains and your father's hatred of all things English.
What the hell is this?
You have many useful skills. You also have a fondness for good living and expensive wine. Your services can be bought at a price.
You know a good deal about me.
It is my business. A colleague of mine wishes to meet you. He wants to offer you a job. One you'll enjoy.
splendid meal. Yes. Surprisingly good. Yes. So, how was your retirement? You know, I knew it wouldn't last. Watson. This really is just like the old days. You didn't mind. Mind? I'd been expecting it. Yes, I thought you might have been. Burying yourself away like that. It just wasn't you. The dance begins. The messages are passed. I have found food. North, northeast. Closer than 50 yards. Pollen. Fascinating.
Mr. Holmes, sir?
By the hives. Just a moment. And the coast is clear, Martha. The enemy is contained.
Thank you, sir. Your tea is on the table, sir.
Thank you, very good.
Mr. Holmes?
Yes?
It is generally accepted that tea tastes best when it's still hot.
Ah, good old Martha. How is she? Rather enjoying life. Just at the moment. I'm pleased to hear it. Did she ever learn to love your bees? I'm afraid not. You and those bees.
You and those bees. I'd have thought by now you'd have learnt every blessed thing about them there is to know.
I've done no more than scratch the surface, Martha. A man could spend his whole life.
Yes. Well, a man would find his tea had gone cold at the end of it.
His whole life. And they'd still have their secrets.
Oh, secrets, is it?
To be teased out and solved and classified. Order out of chaos, Martha. Sense out of mystery.
Miss the old days, do you, sir?
These are the only gangs I care to watch now. No, I miss nothing. What the devil?
Who can it be?
And how did they find me?
Perhaps they're not looking for you, sir.
They're looking for me. I'll be in my study. Get rid of them. Yes?
Mr. Holmes, sir?
Martha, have they gone?
No, sir. They have not.
Good morning, Prime Minister.
Good morning, Mr. Holmes.
Who told you where I was? It wasn't Watson.
Quite correct.
Mycroft.
Of course.
He had my strictest instructions. Martha, some tea for the right honourable gentleman. We'll take it on the lawn. And an extra cup for Viscount Grey of Falladon. Pray come in, Foreign Secretary. Hiding in the hallway doesn't befit the dignity of your office.
Good morning, Mr. Holmes.
Oh. Sit down, sit down. So, gentlemen, what brings you to my humble home?
That's one hell of a way to go for a job interview.
You will be met at the other end. We shall not see each other again.
I can hardly hold back the tears. I suppose you wouldn't care to tell me exactly what line he's in, your colleague.
My dear Altamont, if you're good enough for the job, you should have worked that out for yourself by now.
Well, perhaps I might just have.
Spies.
German spies, sir. Enemy agents operating in this country.
I am familiar with the definition of the word, Prime Minister.